with this shit. So imagine you own a vehicle, right? You buy this vehicle because it's, you know, you've always had Tahoes, and you want to get something that's big and spacious, but quasi luxurious. And then you buy a Wagoneer. Welcome on back to TK's Garage. Now imagine you buy this Wagoneer and everything's been great on it, and then you're driving down the highway and the vehicle shuts off, the brakes fail. Luckily, there's nothing in front of you. None of the components on the vehicle work. Steering becomes exceptionally hard. All the power steering fails. Obviously, the vehicle has shut off, and you're unable to restart the vehicle. And then it throws itself in park at about 20 miles an hour, and you hear that faithful boom. You press the button, and it starts back up like nothing happened. But then it happens again. These Wagoneers, these Grand Wagoneers, are a safety hazard. And there are so many, and I'm going to show you something here in a second, so many of these on the road doing this now, that there's now, as of today, a technical service bulletin about this and what to look for with the wiring harness. And I want to talk about how cost cutting that Carlos Tavares has been doing is going to get somebody killed. So you want to know what's going to bankrupt Stellantis? You want to know what's going to cause this company the biggest financial strife in its combined history? It's going to be lawsuits. That's it. It's 100% going to be lawsuits. One of the things that Carlos Tavares has done since he's been CEO is, as we're seeing now, he's chopping up factories. I'll have an update for you guys on the ZF situation, because it looks like they're buying American factories too. But he said he came to America and he said in Detroit that he needed to cut 30% of his costs, right? Outside of the costs you're already cutting. The main wiring harness for the Jeep Grand Wagoneer has no wiggle room. I don't know about you, but you guys know, if you've watched this channel long enough, that when I first started this channel, I was like rebuilding cars. I was buying wrecked cars at Copart, putting stuff back together. And when you tear these apart and you're taking all the interior and stuff out, and you get to those wiring harnesses, like we did when I rebuilt 3 different versions of the Green Monster, the wiring harness had all, I could pick it up. I had slack in the wiring harness, okay? These Jeep Grand Cherokee Wagoneers, like, I've literally seen videos. I've had videos sent to me from the factory. Now, I want to share them with you, but I also don't want to get the employees that are sending me this information messed up or in trouble. But they're showing me how this goes in, and they have to, like, literally pull on the wiring harnesses and try to get them to snap into place because there's no room. And what's happening is, because of other build quality issues, body bonding, and other stuff not being done correctly, these Jeep Grand Wagoneers are going down the highway and they get on the throttle and they start doing this. You know, they twist a little bit, similar to what we saw with the Challengers cracking the windshields, right? Well, when you already have a wiring harness that has no room to move, it starts breaking the line or stressing a line, or maybe getting something to crack and causing issues with the computer, like we're seeing. And not to mention cheap components, bad programming, data collision. All of this are fatal flaws of these Jeeps and Rams. Now, right here, I want you to see this post because they posted it. Now, I can't share the video. If you want to see the video, you got to go over to Facebook and go see it. I hadn't heard back from the owner, so I don't need to get a copyright claim on their video. But they literally video and show the issue while they're driving down the highway of the vehicle shutting off, dying, coming to a stop, and locking itself out in park. It's time for NHTSA to do its job. The biggest thing I hear all the time is, oh, the government's here to protect us. Well, it's time for the government to get to governing. It's time for NHTSA to slap the shit out of Stellantis and make them fix this. Now, granted, this is going to cost Stellantis a ton of money to replace these wiring harnesses. A ton of money. But they need to think about this. You can either spend it now, or you can lose more brand loyalty and lose way more money when you end up killing somebody. And at that point, I'm hoping that our Department of Justice here in the United States charges the executives that made the decision to make that wiring harness shorter to save a little bit of money. I hope they criminally charge them with murder, negligence, manslaughter, whatever it's going to be. Because I can tell you right now, you're not going to continue to drive these on the road and somebody's not going to die. It's going to happen. And the only person at fault here is Carlos Tavares. He's made the choices. He pushed the narratives. If I was like I've already had conversations with other people at Chrono Moss. If I was a law firm right now, I'd be setting up class action suits to nail these SOBs 7 times to Sunday, man. It's ridiculous. But let me know what you guys think about the Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer issues with the wiring harness and this thing in the comments section down below. Make sure to give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.